Well, hello, everybody. This is John Paval with Access Arts Live, bringing you the weekly roundup of orchestral and choral live streams and also some opera for the week of February 2nd to February 9th. I know we're a couple days late getting started, that we have, you would never believe what it takes to actually get these shows on the road 3 times a week. But anyway, we have a great lineup of orchestral works for you this week, from Cologne, Germany to Bournemouth in the UK, from Vienna to Detroit, points in between. We have orchestral and choral live streams, traditional classics, contemporary minimalist, I'll tell you about that, film music, and more. And I'm here to tell you the more, as usual. Before I do that, let me remind you, if you like this kind of programming, do yourself a favor, follow and or subscribe to Access Arts Live to get more than 1,000 live links to live performances online every year. We are on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn, because we want to be wherever you are. Follow, subscribe, please. Let's get with this. So now, if you had been following us, then you would have already known that yesterday, for instance, you could have listened to a lovely concert by the St. Petersburg Philharmonic, all concertos or soloist pieces by Prokofiev, Rachmaninoff, and Dvorak, a succession of top Russian soloists playing top pieces of music that are well loved. But that was yesterday, and today is today. So let us move on to today, because in just an hour from now, the next of this week's live streams will be teeing off. And I want to be able to tell you about it before it happens. You'll have an hour's time to get ready. Change your plans if you have in mind to change your plans. And whoa, here's a conductor. This is a week of interesting conductors, among other things. Wednesday, February 4th, top conductor Alan Gilbert leads his NDR Hamburg Philharmonic together with the NDR Vokalensemble under Klaas Stok in an evening of heroic music, including Henze's Orpheus and Beethoven's Eroica, heroic symphony. That's at 8 o'clock tonight, about an hour from now, 56 minutes from now to be precise. 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. I don't know what time in Australia, but it'd be the middle of the night. This is a not uninteresting concert. I want to show you also the Vokalensemble, because they're a critical part of this event. The NDR Vokalensemble. There you have them there. Sort of push Alan Gilbert. You know, Alan Gilbert's a great conductor. He used to spend a lot of time in Stockholm, and I think he's still with he still conducts the Stockholm Opera, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken about that. It could be Ryan Bancroft, but I don't think so. I think it's Alan Gilbert. You just can't let the place go. But I once saw him ring out of the very lagom, that meaning very moderated, Royal Stockholm Philharmonic, Shostakovich's Fifth, the way it's meant to be played, and it was just amazing. And it isn't easy to get that kind of bombast and lyricism taken to extremes out of a more moderate sort of Nordic orchestra. But he did. Anyway, let me talk about this. They are doing, they start out with a couple of pieces which are Nordic. Johan Johansson's Orphic Hymn for choir. This is all Orpheus kind of stuff, if you know that myth. And then I think this looks Finnish or Estonian. Eino Juhani Rautavaara's Orpheus Sings for choir, based on poems by Rilke. And then they'll do the Henze, the Hans Werner Henze's Orpheus Behind the Wire, which comes in 5 parts. Part 1, what was hell like? Because Orpheus goes down to hell and comes back. Number 2, the point to be noted. Number 3, you who survived. Number 4, it was charged. Number 5, Orpheus. And then they finish up with, after the taking a break, Ludwig van Beethoven's Symphony Number 3 in E flat major, Opus 55, the Eroica Symphony. Enjoy. Then a half an hour later, you have an opportunity to hear a very different kind of concert. Let me bring this up for you. Coming out of Bournemouth in the UK, 7:30 in the evening in the UK, but that's 8:30 in the evening for everybody else in Europe. Rising star conductor Sora Elizabeth Lee leads the Bournemouth Symphony in works by Edvard Grieg and Tchaikovsky, with top cellist Daniel Müller-Schott joining in for Tchaikovsky's Rococo Variations, Wednesday, February 4th. That's right. That's at 8:30 in the evening European time tonight, 2:30 on the East Coast in the afternoon, and 11:30 in the morning on the West Coast. They'll start out doing Grieg's Peer Gynt Suite Number 1, which was cobbled together from the incidental music that he wrote for Peer Gynt. Then they will do the Tchaikovsky Rococo Variations, which at least 2 other live streams in the past couple of months have done. I wish someone would tell me, how do symphonies all over the world end up picking up on the same pieces in the same year? I mean, they put all their programs together, like last year. How did they all coincidentally, or so many of them, come up with the Rococo Variations? But whatever. Then they'll finish up with Tchaikovsky's Symphony Number 4. Who is Sora Elizabeth Lee? She's a French phenomenon, really. She studied at the Conservatoire National Supérieur de Musique et de Danse in Paris with Alain Antonoglou. And before that, that's where she got her master's. She got her BA at the Munich Hochschule. Recent appearances include Carmen at the Opéra Comique in Paris, Sleeping Beauty at the Paris National Opera at the Bastille, concerts with the Orchestra de Paris, the Orchestra Nationale d'Île-de-France, the Orchestra de Chambre de Paris at the Châtelet Theater, where I once performed, actually, on stage for a while in a big musical production where I was the only main character who didn't get to sing. Never mind. So she's a rising star coming out of France, although her background is Asiatic. Then Müller-Schott, he's a very much in demand international cellist. He'll be this season. He's doing Elgar's Cello Concerto with the London Symphony. I think he recently did a chamber music evening at New York's Carnegie Hall with Maxim Vengerov and friends, who's one of the friends. He'll be playing with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra, and then he's going on a tour in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. Interesting concert. £11 to watch it. They don't give it away for free at Bournemouth. Then we move on to Friday. We don't have anything on the schedule for you on Thursday, but folks, something may come up. How can I say that something may come up? Well, because of the fact that we have content creators that don't let us know in advance. St. Petersburg, Moscow, Gulbenkian, we're never sure of when Gulbenkian is live streaming or not, and those aren't the only ones. So we keep track on a daily basis, and when we can, we put out a daily update of all the live streams of the day, and that's where you can find some of these other live streaming content that we don't know about in advance. Friday, February 6th, the Vienna State Opera will be live streaming Verdi's La Traviata. This is terrific. The conductor is Gianpaolo Bisanti, stagings by Simon Stone, who's a regular there, and the performances will include Xavier Anduaga, Christina Mikitarian, she's been singing often there and getting live streamed often there too, Artur Rusinski, and Florentina Serres. That'll be at Friday at 7 in the evening. European time, 1 o'clock, lunchtime on the East Coast, 10 o'clock, late breakfast on the West Coast. do not tell you more about them because in this context, there's no way to go into it. But before Friday, I promise I will put out a separate live stream talking about the four main performers and giving you a little bit of a synopsis of the opera for those who need it. But Vienna State Opera is one of the top operas in Europe and the world. By budget, it's one of the top three. The fact that they can live stream like a half a dozen performances per season raises the question, well, how come these other top opera houses can't do the same? I don't know. I wish they did. I would encourage them to do so. So, but if opera is not your bag, there are other things you can enjoy on Friday. So let me tell you about some of these other things that you can enjoy on Friday. What is the first one? Here's the first one. I think this is the first one. Yes, that's Simone Young, the Australian-born conductor who's, I'll tell you more about her in a second. Friday, February 6th, Australian-born conductor Simone Young debuts with the Cologne Philharmonic, joined by veteran pianist Louis Lortie in Ravel's Paval, Ravel's popular piano concerto in G major, and Korngold Symphony in F sharp. That'll be at 8 in the evening, European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, 11 in the morning on the West Coast. They'll start out with, that's the Paval pour un enfant défunt. You know that piece. Hold on a second, let me fix the lighting here. Is that better? I seem to have like shadows back in the corner there that I don't like over here. But whatever. We do the best we can, folks. Then they'll do the Ravel Piano Concerto with Lortie. He's Franco-Canadian. He has more than 45 recordings out for Chandos Records, including Beethoven's 32 piano sonatas and the complete works of Ravel. So he knows this. He's done it, recorded it. He's followed by more than 300,000 listeners monthly on streaming platforms. He's generated more than 6 million streams in 2022 alone. Regularly performs at places like the Wigmore Hall, the Philharmonie de Paris, the Concertgebouw in Amsterdam, etc., etc., etc. Very, very top guy. And Simone, well, let me finish, then I'll give you the rest of the music. Then they finish up with Korngold Symphony in F sharp, and their program notes said that it's one of his late works. It was 1911. That's not late for Korngold. But their program notes are correct that he went to Hollywood later and made a fortune and became famous. But anyway, Simone Young, this is the first time conducting the Cologne Symphony Orchestra, but she began her career at the Cologne Opera House, and she's conducting opera all the time. I'm not going to list everything for you, but she's the first woman to ever lead the ring cycle at Bayreuth. And last year, she was regularly live streamed by La Scala Opera House because she was conducting the ring cycle, Wagner's ring cycle, at La Scala last year. I mean, she's top conductor. So she's not doing opera here, but Korngold, Ravel, these are emotive pieces where someone who has a feeling for the drama and the expressiveness of opera can really show you something. So I think this will be a good one. I showed you her picture, and I neglected to show you Louis Lortie's, and I like to show everybody's picture. There's Louis Lortie too. So that's what you get, free of charge, by the way, from the Cologne Philharmonic. It's live streamed by ARD Classic, which is always free of charge. They live stream a number of different orchestras in Germany. So then, what do we move on from? Well, then we move on to more cinematic music, but it's interesting to go from Korngold to even more cinematic music, don't you think? And another conductor. Like I said, this is an interesting week for conductor. Sarah Hicks leads the Cologne Radio Orchestra in film music from King Kong to the Avengers, with the assistance of the At Cinema Strikes Back gang, a German YouTube tribe specializing in cinematic stories. It's interesting, you know, the Cologne Phil with Simone Young, and now Sarah Hicks with the Cologne Radio Orchestra. Big night in Cologne. This is on Saturday, February 7th at 8 o'clock in the evening, European time, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, and 11 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. And this too is ARD Classic live streaming. So they have two live streams coming out of Cologne in a row, Friday and Saturday. This will be everything from, as I said, King Kong to the Avengers. Sarah Hicks is a prominent Japanese-American conductor, and she's currently the principal conductor of Live at Orchestra Hall for the Minnesota Orchestra. So she's familiar with being live streamed. Cinema Strikes Back. Let me show you a picture of Cinema Strikes Back, and I hope I didn't just restream images. We use the Restream live streaming platform. The images are like flashing on and off for us. Here are the guys from At Cinema Strikes Back, who have, you know, helped with picking out the music to do. And I show you this picture because in the program notes, they give the names of all of them. That's Xenia Popescu, Alper Turfan, Jonas Ressel, Marius Stoltz, Lenny Schmitz. That's the whole gang of people that will be working together with Sarah Hicks and the host Dominik Porschein, so there'll be German commentary, to show you a good time. Usually at the end of each of these live streams, I express the wish that the hope that the live stream will uplift you or inspire you or show you a good time. The cinematic thing, that would be the good time. Okay, so then we move on to the next of this week's live streams. And this one, to me, is very interesting. I do not have a picture of the conductor this time. And just there's not time to get to everything, folks. Saturday, February 7th, conductor Brad Lubman leads the Frankfurt Radio Symphony in a program of contemporary choral and orchestral works, including Steve Reich's The Desert Music and the world premiere of a piece the symphony commissioned, Lithuanian composer Juste Janulaitis' Uccelli et altre cose, together with Synergy Vocals. And the picture I have up for you, Synergy Vocals, that'll be at 7 o'clock on Saturday evening in Europe, 1 o'clock in the East Coast in the US, and 10 o'clock in the morning on the West Coast. The piece by Steve Reich is it's a classic of minimalism, and it'll be the kind of, there's a lot of repetition of rhythmic and melodic phrases, and the idea that it corresponds to swarm behavior, the way like it's like each in a flock of birds, like each bird acts independently, but together they form a harmonious and structural whole. That's the way this is explained in the program notes. Don't blame me for that. Now, let me show you this interesting composer. And this is Vocal Synergy, the vocal group that's going to be doing it. And they sing with microphones. So this is not a big choir. This is a smaller group, but they'll be amplified. They won't have any trouble keeping up. And they have, if you look them up, you'll find they have worked with a lot of different orchestras and in a lot of different contexts. So this is a very expert. They've been around at least a decade, as far as I can tell, maybe longer. This is a really expert group that knows how to do this kind of music. Now, I also want to show you, talk to you a little bit about the composer who was a discovery for me. Here she is. This is Lithuanian composer Juste Janulite, who, besides being an absolutely lovely woman, is a highly interesting composer who creates minimalist monochrome soundscapes. And she usually doesn't work with as large orchestras, we're told, but hold off on that for a minute. What she does is fuses the individual voices into a collective mass progressively, exploring time and space perception through multi-layered textures and extremely gradual metamorphoses. If you followed a few weeks ago, the Cage 32, Organ 32, 8-day live stream, that was going on in the live stream. Certain notes would be held for long periods of time and then gradually shift into another note. And in fact, if you play a note long enough and you don't, and you just stay on the note, it doesn't stay on the note. It does all kinds of crazy things. Anyway, she has worked with, usually what she does is she'll work with strings or with wind instruments or with voices, not combining voices, say, with an orchestra. But she's worked with the Berlin Concert House, the Cologne Phil, the Hamburg Symphony, La Fenice, the BBC Symphony, the Munich Chamber Orchestra, the Helsinki Phil, Swedish Radio Choir, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So new to me, perhaps new to you, and worth discovering. Free of charge. Then I think we have only two more to tell you about. Here's the man. Yadar Bignomeni is back on the podium of the Detroit Symphony Orchestra Saturday, February 7th to world premiere the suite from the opera Omar by Michael Abels and Rhiannon Giddens, and then swing into Wynton Marsalis's Swing Symphony, along with the Paradise Theater Big Band. Wow, that'll be a hot time in the Old Town that night. That's Saturday, February 8th, February 7th, 8 p.m. Detroit time, 5 p.m. in LA, 2 o'clock in the morning here in Europe, but worth staying up for. And noon, Sunday noon, down under in Australia. Michael Abel and Rhiannon Giddens created this opera Omar, based on Omar ibn Said's 1831 biography, the autobiography, the only memoir of an American slave that was written in Arabic. So unusual. Anyway, the thing about Yadar Bignomeni is, well, one thing is he's an opera lover. He's always going off and conducting operas too when he's not on the podium in Detroit, and because I see it in his Instagram account. And so he has a feel for operatic music. But the other thing is he's really great collaboratively. Whenever he has soloist on, it cooks. It's like fireworks. So here, in the second half of the concert, they'll be doing Wynton Marsalis's Swing Symphony. And the question is it gonna cook as well when he's collaborating not with an individual soloist, but the whole Paradise Theater Big Band? My guess would be that it would, that the guy just really knows how to, and I think that's why he likes opera too, because it's not just the orchestra, it's the orchestra plus the singers and the chorus, and he is so good with soloists. So I think this will be fireworks in Detroit again with Yadar Bignomeni. As usual, free of charge. Okay, we have one more live stream to tell you about now. But wait, before I finish up, I do want to show you. I want to show you the Paradise Theater Big Band. There they are. That plus the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Great evening. And to finish the weekend, there's one more live stream to tell you about. This one brings in another favorite of mine, Igor Berendeyev, the conductor out in Tomsk, Siberia, who never shies away from challenges. I like that. Igor Berendeyev leads the Tomsk Philharmonic Sunday, February 8th in Mendelssohn's Scottish Symphony No. 3 and Dvorak's popular violin concerto with violinist Mark Zinger, who's from Perm, Russia, joining in for that Dvorak. This will be at 6 in the evening Siberian time, which means noon in Europe, 6 in the morning on the East Coast, 3 o'clock, stay up late Saturday night on the West Coast in the US, and 10 o'clock in the evening, Sunday evening, down under in Australia. This is it's an interesting piece. Dvorak's violin concerto. He revised it over and over again for like 4 years, showing it to different other conductors or composers and getting their recommendations to what to do about it. Violinist, I guess, as well. And he wrote it for a friend of his who was a great violinist, and Joseph Joachim, who never performed it. Anyway, I have this question I throw out in the air. Does anybody know how all of these symphonies suddenly have decided to be playing Mendelssohn symphonies this year? As far as I know, it isn't a particular event or a birthday or anything for him, but everybody's there are at least 4 live streams in just in this new year. I've talked about where they're playing Mendelssohn's Scottish Symphony or his Italian Symphony, because Mendelssohn would go to a country and then come back and write a symphony about it. Anyway, folks, that's what we have for you this week in terms of orchestral and choral live streams. There are a few more sort of chamber orchestra and small choral group live streams I haven't told you about yet, which will be on Saturday and Sunday. I'll do a separate pickup on that before we get to the weekend. I'll also do another live stream on contemporary now music. There's a Roulette Intermedium, has an ongoing series going on. If you love now music that's being created now, it would be very exciting for you. Wasn't able to fit it in with any of the other live streams I've done in the last couple of days. And so there's more to come in the next couple of days. Keep track of Access Arts Live. And if you like this kind of programming, remember, follow and or subscribe to us to get more than 1,000 live links to live performances online every year. We're on Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and LinkedIn. And that's it for this week's 3 live streams about organ recitals, chamber music live streams, and big stage live streams. Ciao for now. Bye.